All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show here at Lenny Boy. It is a lively place here tonight. So just in case you can't hear us very well, that is probably why. But I am David Gussler, one of the hosts here of the show. And I have the special privilege of having the live show actually in person this time, not virtually. But I have my good buddy here, Matt Swift. So say hello, Matt.
Hello, hello.
All right, we have Matt Swift, and we have a special guest here, Russell, or AKA Rusty Varner.
Hello, everyone. I'm confused because I'm usually only brought in for animal updates and for the beginning and end of MLS season. We've already gone past the beginning, and it's not the end, so I'm not sure why I'm here. So I'm just very perplexed at this point, but I'm very happy to be here. Don't get me wrong.
We love you, Rusty. So that's the reason why we're here. Why you're here. It's not because of Dodger updates. It's not because of preview shows or mid-season reviews or post-season reviews. It's because we love you.
It's a great excuse for me to get out of the house, so I'm not going to complain. I was just very confused is all.
Well, we have a very special night planned. And we're here again, like I said, Lenny Boy. So you can tell of all the Lenny Boy swag. And I think all of us are actually drinking the brand new, just released Mint City Collective
Cheers,
Pilsner.
everybody.
So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Nice clink of the glass. Even Corey in the corner, producer extraordinaire, is actually drinking Mint City Pilsner as well. But it is a lively bunch here tonight. So, Matt, how does it feel to be less than 24 hours away from kickoff, have this wonderful live audience here who, is super interactive right now? And, how does it feel?
I thought I was excited last weekend, but I feel like every single episode we're like, this is the big one. But, I feel like this is the big one. This is our first home match, and it's a lively crowd here. So it's just super exciting.
Yeah, it's we've been talking that day zero is coming to an end, and day one is soon. It is actually here. So day one is here. We are literally here, ready for kickoff.
Yeah.
It is Friday. I worked today. It was a long day at work, but I was 5 o'clock came, and I'm like, I got to get to Lenny Boy. I'm about to do a show because CLTFC is kicking off in Charlotte tomorrow.
That's right. So I figured since we have Russell, a.k.a. Rusty, on the show, we promised that we would get his take for the DC game. So, Russell, tell us about DC. How was your trip? What did you think about the game?
I appreciate this. I messaged y'all in Slack and said there's nothing that I can add that you guys haven't already said, at least about how the team played. We definitely played much better than the scoreline said. No more needs to be said about the handballs or anything like that. I'm not going to go back down that road. I'm just going to say how amazing it was to have 300-plus people who I've never met before, apart from Slack, really, for the most part, and maybe one or two events, for us all to come together in a completely different state and cheer on a team that has never played a game before. And the biggest thing for me that I took out of it was that I have a much bigger sense of hope. Moving forward, I'm not going to lie, after the Charleston games, I was very scared. I was like, this is going to be a very long season with some very rough games. But it honestly, I had a friend come to the game with me who does not watch MLS on the regular. And he said to me around halftime, he was like, wait, which one of these teams is the expansion team? And which one has been around since the league started? Because we looked like the better side for the majority of that match. So seeing all that was hopeful. Seeing everyone there, all the fans, was just incredible. Being able to celebrate the goal that wasn't a goal. I mean, it stinks that it got called back correctly. It was offside, but it's also really kind of tempting.
Hold on. Yeah. It was not called off. I know it's technically offside, but I'm sticking to my guns that it was not offsides.
I mean, it's almost a good tease because it was insane doing that with the 300-some in D.C. I cannot imagine what that's going to be like with 75,000. So I just really hope we get that chance to be able to celebrate that goal. If we win or get a draw, that'll also be great, but I just want to be able to get that chance to celebrate with everyone, just hear the stadium absolutely go bonkers. over a goal, because I think that will be the moment that will sell a lot of casual fans, to see that euphoric moment when you get that goal, and because that's what soccer's all about, is that moment right there.
Let me just tell you, even though the goal did not count, that was euphoria right there when that happened, right? It was literally spontaneous. Everyone screaming up and down, like shouting. Beer was flying in the air. The $15 IPA from DC was flown in the air on my jersey, on my pants. Heidi from Southbound and Crown did like a face plant from her seat, which I love. Check her out on Twitter because she has a good sense of humor about it. She made that her profile image of her just falling forward. So shout out to Heidi. But it was like, I cannot wait for that moment. And if we can have that moment tomorrow with 74,000 people in the stands and 4,000 people in the supporter section doing that, that will be just the most amazing feeling ever. So I agree with you. It was a great tease, but I need it. I need it just put right into my veins tomorrow is what I need.
We need one that actually counts now. You cannot tease us like that and then not deliver.
So felt pretty good with the team. Some confusion with maybe like which one's the expansion team, which I'm going to throw a little shade at DC. Their fans are pretty nice. Their tifo said respect tradition. And tradition was a half-filled stadium on opening day. Not even full, and first half was kind of scary for him. So, but I'll take it. It's fine. They come back down to Charlotte here soon. We'll take it away from them here soon. Yeah. So, well, anything else from your thoughts from DC? Like anything that you just really want to highlight? Because we did our our good and the bad. The good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Like any like thing that you wanted to add from our last episode that you thought was good from DC?
That was good was. It's been said a lot in the Slack and I'm sure online, but I want to give a lot of credit to you, to Chris Harmon, to Jay, to everyone who set up everything for that trip, because y'all did an amazing job just setting up the pre-party, all the goodies that y'all gave away. I want to echo that because you guys, it cannot be said enough how well you guys all did with that. So that was amazing. I'd like to give a shout out to all the news crews and to the Charlotte soccer team for coming out and taking all the photos and videos and being able to make us look cooler than we are and trying to make our faces look a little prettier than they are, because I know we're not the best looking bunch, but
hold on,
we try.
We got a ring light here tonight that's making us all look beautiful.
Making you two look beautiful, making me just, I don't know. But I think all that, I don't want to call out a DC United fan who was trying to talk trash to me in the bathroom at halftime, but I'm just going to say to him, listen, you guys have been around since the beginning and Y2K is more relevant than you. So, do you, man. Be salty and do you. That's all I want. I don't think I really have much else to add before I go on a huge rant, and this show's already going to go long as is, I can tell.
It's okay. It's not
a bad thing. It's just, it is what it is.
That's why we love you, Rusty, Russell Varner. But I will say one last shout out that was good last week to this guy right here doing his sprints up DC United Stadium, capturing videos, posting on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, right? He did it all. So
leg muscles after that, because those steps in DC United Stadium are steep. If you try to do stairs on that, you will pass out.
Yeah, those were very steep. I was winded by the time I got to the top.
Yeah, so it was a great time. I cannot wait for the memories tomorrow. So I guess we can kind of start thinking about tomorrow and talking through what that looks like. So it's a big day. So Matt, would love for you just to kind of kick us off. Like, what do you think of LA so far? So I know they're one match in. We're getting some thumbs down from the audience over here. But yeah, I mean, so what do you think of LA? Like, do you think Charlotte Football Club has a chance? And like, what's your initial impression of LA so far?
So not sure if you buy into these types of things, but MLS has the power rankings that come out each week. So they have LA 10th overall. They got a late winner against NYCFC, who are the defending champs. Came in like the 89th, 90th minute. I think they're good.
Who scored that goal?
You tell me who scored that goal.
I've been practicing this literally for the past 15 minutes.
Can you say it? Do it.
Chicharito.
Yeah, that was good. All right, there we go. All right.
Yes. Because I said it wrong 15 minutes ago.
Did. You really did.
So shout out to Becca because Becca corrected me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be really embarrassing. So shout out, thank you. But no, I definitely said it wrong. But that's why I had to ask the question, everybody. But sorry, Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get into like the offense and defense, and definitely want to get Russell's take on it. But yeah, they got a win in the first match. I think both teams had chances. There's definitely some areas with LA that we can exploit, and we'll get into that in a second. But I think they can be had. I don't think they're quite ranked 10th in the power rankings, but I guess we'll see Saturday, and we'll talk a little about that here in a second.
Yeah, I think. Look, they beat the defending MLS Cup champs, so you have to give them that. You can't take anything away from that. But that being said, I feel like the Galaxy are still right about where they've been for a while, which is their offense is world class. Their midfield is one of the better ones in MLS.
Yeah.
Their goalkeeper situation's even not that bad, but their defense is just such a complete mess that it really kind of it's so bad it overshadows all the other positives that they have.
Yeah.
And Greg Vanney is a great coach. A very, very good coach, one of the best in MLS. But he came in last year and he was supposed to help turn the team around defensively. Well, if you want to look at I'm going to throw out my stats here, non-penalty XGA, so expected goals allowed, per 90. Last year, it was 1.43, which is a joint 8th worst in MLS. It's up there with the likes of Vancouver, Inter Miami, and Chicago. All right? The year before Greg Vanney came in, when they had one of the worst defenses, if not the worst in MLS, their non-penalty XG per 90 was 1.41. So last year they got worse. And so, again, they just beat the defending MLS Cup champs, but they did so with, I feel, a decent amount of possession by doing a good job of keeping the ball in NYCFC's half. But they are not perfect. There are weaknesses, as Matt said, that can be exploited, and we'll get into that in a moment. So they are not to be taken lightly, but they are not invulnerable.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to show some grit and fight and be aggressive and be physical on Saturday. I think we showed that some in DC, and it's going to be up to the fans to kind of give our guys some extra energy and support there. It's going to be in front of a record-breaking crowd, so plenty of noise to go about. Greg Vanney, LA Galaxy's coach, he said in a quote, he said, "For us, it's about managing that emotion and excitement they're going to have for sure, and allowing the game to settle in." So for us, that beginning of the game is going to be very crucial because we don't want LA to settle in. We want that noise to bother LA. So I think being noisy and lively early is going to be beneficial for us.
So I'm gonna selfishly say that's our responsibility, Matt Swift, as Mint City Collective, other supporters. We have got to be going at 110%. Noise, chants, whatever, right? Be as obnoxious as you can.
That's right.
So that way it's loud, and that way they can't control the tempo, right? But, I mean, I will say, and I read it online earlier, that a lot of the players from Charlotte Football Club, they haven't played in a stadium this size before. They haven't played in front of 74,000 fans. It's going to be this adrenaline rush and almost like sense of anxiety. So I'm super interested to see how the players settle in, even from within the home crowd, because there's going to be a lot of emotion, a lot of adrenaline pumping for them to kind of see that. So
yeah, I think it's important for us to get off to a good start. LA were really good in the second half. I thought in the first half, NYCFC and LA were pretty even. but they really came alive in the second half. So I think it's really going to be important for us to get off on the right foot here. You want to talk about? You want to do offense, defense first? We got some notes here.
Following your lead, so you just let me know where you want to go.
Well, I'm gonna be the tiebreaker here. Let's start with defense, because I know that's. I will say, because you were kind of alluding to it earlier. Like LA typically has an opportunity with defense, and I think Charlotte FC, if there's any position we have depth at, it's our defense, right? It's our back line.
Yeah.
So I'd love to know what you guys think, and how do you feel like they should show up tomorrow?
For our defense?
For our defense, yeah.
Yeah. So I know in previous episodes we've been pretty critical of Joseph Mora. I do think that this game he can do really well. We all know that he likes to stay at home and not venture forward, which could be beneficial in this match because we're going to have to deal with Douglas Costa coming down that side. Now, Costa he's going to want to try to cut in on his left foot, which means like Christian Fuchs or whoever's playing beside of Mora is going to have to come over and lend support, which could open up the middle of the field, which is dangerous. So whoever is going to be playing that central defensive mid, whether it's Sergio or Brant, they're probably going to have to drop back in to cover, runners coming through and watch that middle as Fuchs comes out and gives support to Mora. That whole side over there was dangerous against NYCFC. So that's the side defensively that worries me. So we need to make sure that Reyna or whoever's going to be playing that wing on that side keeps, I think it's Anarahu, keep him pinned back because he got forward a lot during the NYCFC game. So keeping him pinned back is going to be important. And then making sure Douglas Costa is canceled out. So
that's going to be the biggest key. Whoever's starting at left back, whether it's Mora, whether it's Adam Armour, they're going to need to have their A game. Because if you look at the stats against NYCFC, the Galaxy did attack more so through their right side, through where Douglas Costa was, on the side Chicharito's on. Araujo, as you were saying before, he's been a key part of their offense, even though he had a very nice sleeper hold tackle in the box that somehow wasn't called for a penalty and let alone did not give him a suspension or anything. That's neither here nor there. The Galaxy are going to look to exploit that right side, or at least that's what they did in week one. They might switch it up if they see something else on the other side, but the biggest thing with the Galaxy is that they are a very balanced unit. Their final attack is always going to go through Chicharito. There is no secret, no surprise there. But they had no player that had more than 3 key passes against NYCFC. However, they had 13 total key passes against NYCFC, which is the joint second most of any MLS team in week 1. This is a very balanced attacking group. It's obviously going to go to Chicharito in the end, but you don't know exactly where that search is going to come from. So yes, it is going to be on Moore. It is going to be on Armour, whoever's starting, on Fuchs, and whoever else is in the back line, but it's also going to be on whoever's in the midfield to get pressure on those guys and not give them the time to give Chicharito good service.
So you touched on it. I'm going to put you guys both on the spot for a second. So Mora started last week. We did essentially like a 5-back set with the left wing back and a right wing back. If you're MAR tomorrow, first home game at home, 75,000 fans, Chicharito is going to be putting pressure on that, and they're going to the right side. Do you start Adam or do you start Mora?
You have to start Mora, I think. I think just experience and his style. I've been very critical of him. I think Mar's system doesn't really fit him so much as a wing back, but this particular game, I think he's going to work well because he needs to stay at home and not get forward because he'll get beat if he does. So I think for this particular game, I would start him and say, you guard Douglas Costa, you make him go to his right foot, do not let him cut in on his left foot, and we'll be all good.
Yep, 100% agree. Mora has not been great, but I would still trust him over Armour, at least at the start. for all the reasons that Matt said. You know what you're going to get with him, and right now I think that's the biggest thing you're looking for. It's just something that you are familiar with and you know what you're going to get. Now's not the time really to go and take risks, not just yet at least. So stick with Moore for now. Worst comes to worst, if it doesn't work, you can always just sub him off.
Yeah, and I think having Christian Fuchs back there in the back, that way he can slide over whatever he needs to do. I think that'll help a little bit, take that pressure off Moore a little bit. So
Fuchs's situational awareness is going to be crucial back there because he'll know when to come over and lend support. He has that experience. He's going to be able to see things happening in front of him. So I think that's going to be important. One of the big things too is like we need to be mindful of like being clean in the back. That means like when there's a loose ball, get it out. How LA scored their goal. NYFC's defender, I think it was 55, I can't remember his name.
Doesn't matter.
Dispossessed LA's player, didn't get it out, got dispossessed himself, it got slid to Chicharito, goal. So I think being clean in the back is going to be important. But let me read you a quote from Miguel earlier. It was really funny.
Is it the we're screwed?
No, it's not that one. It's not that one.
He said we're screwed? Wait, when did that happen?
He was saying that in his press conference, he was like, the players, our players, are starting to know where to move and not panicking. But he said something great. He goes, "It's one thing to be pressed; it's another to feel pressed." And I absolutely love that because like players are going to press you, but that doesn't mean that you should feel pressed. And I think during training, that's what they're working on. And I absolutely love that from him.
That's some like Karate Kid or Brene Brown like kind of like quote there, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is a deep question or quote there from a soccer coach. So
that is a very good quote. And the good news for us is I don't believe that the LA Galaxy are as much of a pressing team as DC United is.
Yeah.
And I feel that the Galaxy are much more of a team that defend with possession. If you look at the stats, the Galaxy completed 201 passes in their opponent's half last week, and only 5 teams had more. They only attempted 140 passes in their own half. So that's about 70 discrepancy. That's the largest in all of MLS. So we're going to need the D to be able to play well, obviously, and just be calm if they do press. That's not to say that the Galaxy can't shift for a game and then suddenly press. We need to prove that we can beat it. I think if there's one thing that I really kind of wish that Charlotte's improved on, they only attempted 122 passes in their opponent's half last week. The second worst in all of MLS. It felt? Yeah. They had more possession than DC United, but a lot of it was kind of in their own half. And this didn't happen until late, but late in the game, you got kind of similar to Charleston, where they were just kind of passing back and forth right in their own box, and it was all getting real close. And it wasn't until then that you really started feeling kind of pressured and felt like they might get something. But you cannot allow a team like the Galaxy any chance like that, because the Galaxy are a much better offensive team than DC United is.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Perfect segue there, good old Rusty. So, chef's kiss, right? So, that alludes to our special guest here later. That's going to make a special appearance here in a little bit. But so, talking about offense, what LA Galaxy does, right? So, I'm going to put you on the spot, Matt. So, how do you feel our offense did last week? But then also too, like, where do you see them showing up? Because LA's not typically known to be a strong defensive team.
Right.
How do you feel we're going to show up tomorrow, especially now that we have Carroll back? It'll be his first game premiering in Bank of America. We have a true striker up top, so would love to know your thoughts.
Well, one area, we talked a little bit about our defense and Douglas Costa coming down that side and Araujo coming down that side. If Araujo comes down that side, there's an opportunity for like a Christian Fuchs to play that ball forward to Reyna, and it opens things up. That's what I'm hoping and praying for, because he will come forward. He's going to try to come forward. And Reyna's going to have to either try to keep him honest, or if he's going to keep coming forward, Reyna may find a lot of space there. So I think offensively that could be a key point. But I really think where we can really maximize things is down our right side. Raheem Edwards, who is their left back, I think he's number 44. He's not very good
because he's not a left back.
Right. Yeah. So whether that's Mackenzie Gaines or whoever else, I think that's the side that we can exploit pretty well.
100% agree. Raheem Edwards is someone who's always been a winger or more of a forward his entire career, and then he moved to the Galaxy this offseason. They've deployed him more as a left back. So whoever's playing on that side, whether it is Gaines or I kind of got my fingers crossed personally that it's TT Ortiz. I don't know if he plays out on the right wing more, but I say that because I want to bring up this stat with him. TT Ortiz had 5 key passes last week, which is the joint second most for any player in all of MLS. So he had a wonderful game playing in that false 9 role. It'll be interesting to see how he can match up with Swinderski up top. But I do believe that when we attack, we need to attack Raheem Edwards. Right. Because he is someone who is unproven defensively, and I would consider to be the weak link of that LA Galaxy defense.
So you said Mackenzie Gaines. You're saying TT, right? Where do you see, is it Rios?
Daniel Rios?
So Daniel Rios. So I was thinking of the guy from, Ted Lasso. But no, I'm just kidding. Where does he fit in on this? Because I thought he actually showed up pretty well last week, coming in as a sub off the bench. He's actually starting to practice with the club more, getting more reps. Do you see him just coming off the bench for Mackenzie Gaines or TT?
Well, yeah, I think that having that depth and having someone come off the bench with fresh legs is going to be important. I think LA's center backs are not very good either. They ball watch, and their spacing between the two is not very good. I saw in the NYCFC game runners kind of getting in between them, and they didn't know who to pick up or if someone, their partner was going to pick them up. So I think that's a place, too, where we can have some success. I think some balls over the top, too, could work against these guys.
Yeah, I think that might be one of the best ways to attack them will be with the long balls, because I think it felt like that's where we had some good chances, honestly, was with that. I don't know how fast LA's center backs are, but I'm going to imagine the answer is not very.
Yeah.
I mean, Nick Dupuis and Saga, I believe is how you say his first name, Koulibaly, they're fine, they're serviceable, but they're not quick.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how the team's offense adapts, how Mars' offense adapts with an actual striker as opposed to us having to play with a false 9. I think that might be what I'm most excited about tomorrow.
The only thing I hope that does not happen, but I hope does happen in some way, is it to be a Christian Fuchs goal off of a cross for a 2-1 winner. Because I think if that happens, I will cry and I will also celebrate at the same time.
And that's what we call a segue, ladies and gentlemen. Well played, David.
I'm learning this host thing a little bit. I'm channeling my inner Corey over here, trying my best to be a good host and steer the conversation. But I guess so now thinking ahead, where do you feel do you feel like we have an advantage on those set pieces and those corners? Where do you guys feel?
Yeah, I absolutely do think we do. Our best chances, I feel, came off of set pieces. And the Galaxy, again, as a poor defensive team, feel like a team that have not defended set pieces well. So, I mean, when you have the height that it feels like that we have with the likes of Swinderski, with the likes of Fuchs, with Guzman.
Yeah, Guzman.
Yeah, with all of them. There is no reason that we shouldn't be able to take advantage, barring, say, Jordi Alcivar coming in and giving him poor crosses as a sub, but I've already gone over all the negative things from the DC United game, so I'm not sure why I'm bringing that up. I apologize.
So, Matt, what do you think? Did you like what we saw last week from the corners in DC, or do you think it translates this week, or what?
I wasn't impressed with our set pieces or corners last game, so I hope that's going to be a little bit improved. I would like to see us come up with some plays and let's see what we can do there. I think Fuchs is who you need to target. I hope for your sake.
You're stressing me out, man. You're stressing me out when you say that. But I will say we have a really tall back line, so at least on those corners and those set pieces, we do have some height advantage. If it comes down to me having to fulfill my prediction, I will take the win over anything else.
I was going to say, do you want to give background for anyone who is not aware?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that maybe Corey can give some context here later on post edit. But what was it? 2 months ago? It feels like yesterday, but 2 or 3 months ago, we did an episode here with good old Russell here, and we did our predictions to the first match because we thought we thought LA would be the first match, or we thought that could be it's the first home match. We didn't know when it was. And we give our predictions, so go back and listen to it. But my prediction was that I would get a tattoo of the team as my very first tattoo if Christian Fuchs scored the game winner on a cross in the second half from the corner, 2-1. Has to be that exact scenario. Cannot be from a foul. It has to be from a corner, 2-1.
But we have this video recorded for posterity, so we know the exact circumstances that had to be done. This could be for better or for worse for you. But we have it. It's out there. I think I said, did I say draw or win for us? I don't remember, honestly.
I honestly don't remember. I'm pretty sure that you said that you would love a win, but you wouldn't be surprised if we had a draw.
Yeah, okay, good, because that's exactly where I come in to this game. I honestly expect a draw. I don't think it's going to be score. I think both teams are going to score just because I think the Galaxy's offense is too good, and because I don't trust the Galaxy's defense as all. As a former Galaxy supporter, I've had my heart broken too many times trying to believe in that, and I have to believe that Charlotte's going to be able to put something together offensively, if for nothing else, just to give us, again, that moment of euphoria where we're able to get that goal and have everyone spill beer on top of each other and have the fireworks go off or whatever the heck that Tepper has planned from when we score.
Just don't mention smoke.
Too soon. You just want to believe that the soccer gods are nice enough to just let us have that moment. You'd like to think. So I think if I'm asked right now, I'm going to say it'd be a 1-1 final. Charlotte scores early, Galaxy score late. What? What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing because I'm getting texts and messages during the show, and my dad's watching, and he says,
"Hey, Dad,
you will not get a tattoo."
You can ask my dad. He's watching. He was not exactly happy when I got this either. I love you, Dad. Sorry.
That's awesome. All right, so 1-1.
Yep. 1-1 is my prediction.
Okay. What about you, Dave?
I'm gonna stick with my 2-1. I think here's okay. I'm gonna be very specific here. I think we're gonna go up. We're gonna go up 1-0. I think LA Galaxy's gonna tie it, and I think we come back with a late goal in the second half and win 2-1.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I'm thinking too. I really think we need to score early. And then, I think 2-1 is great. Yeah.
And the biggest thing is just making sure we put on a show.
Yeah.
I think not just for the national Fox audience, but for just, again, bringing in the casuals and making sure that we can sell people who come to this game and who don't know about MLS, to let them know what soccer is and how great the game is. Because I've had a lot of friends who have made fun of me for being a soccer fan previously, and who have questioned why I'm a soccer fan, who now that Charlotte has a team, they're all like, hey, this is exciting, this is fun. Hey, teach me a little more about the game. I'd like to know. If we can just hook them in and just give them that moment.
Sure.
That honestly might be worth more than the win. You get that long-term benefit.
Right. No, I agree.
So I'm gonna transition awkwardly here because it's a live show. We're here live at Lenny Boy, but we have a very special guest here with us who flew. So I'm gonna just make us sound really important here for half a second.
To be fair, it is very important.
But he flew all the way from Rome, Italy, just for our show.
Has nothing to do with the game tomorrow.
Nothing to do with the game tomorrow. Has nothing to do with work. Has nothing to do with him missing Charlotte. No. It's because he knew that Russell, Matt Swift, and David Gussler was doing a podcast episode live at Lenny Boy. But I'm gonna introduce now a good friend of mine, Mr. Ryan Bailey. So Ryan Bailey, come on over, and we're gonna take over for the show. So we're gonna make it somewhat official now. So hello.
Congrats, you are now hosting yet another podcast, so just take over.
Hello, gents. How are we doing today?
We are doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I imagine I'm more awake than you right now.
I've been awake for about 3 days now. I've flown for 1 billion hours, and I've had a few beers, so
nice.
I'm feeling jolly, and it's wonderful to be back in Charlotte.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
You've been in Italy, right?
Correct.
Right. How's that been going?
It's not Charlotte.
That's an accurate statement.
And you've been traveling around. I saw you were in Florence, maybe.
Correct.
Yep. So
the past few weeks I've done the tour of Italy. My favorite Olive Garden entree.
Yeah.
So Milan, Venice, and Florence. It was a good time.
Nice.
Which has been your favorite Starbucks you found so far?
There's only one.
So, all right, that answers my question then.
Yeah, so I'm not the guy to talk to Starbucks, by the way. He just left. The other guy.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, that's fair. But all right, so I guess we should get kind of serious for a second and kind of talk about the game. How are you feeling coming back? Were you able to watch any of the game, or how much of the game were you able to watch at? What was that, like 3 in the morning?
Oh, it wasn't quite that bad. So the DC game, it kicked off at midnight local time for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to stay up and watch it. I was like, no, I'll watch it on repeat tomorrow. But then when it came to like 11:30, it's like, I'm definitely staying up to watch this. And I did. And I was really emotional about it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It was a big moment for all of us.
Well, I mean,
right?
you've put in a lot of work. You were here at the very beginning since 2019. So, what was that like for you abroad and getting to see day one, game one? How was that like for you?
I thought it was just an incredible moment. You know how they had the opening montage with the players and all the production. I thought that was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Those hairs on the back of the neck kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think what's been interesting, being away for these few months that I've been, I still watched this club grow in this community.
Right.
And even being here today, like driving from the airport, seeing the yard signs everywhere, seeing everybody in their shirts.
Right.
Which 6 months ago wasn't quite the case.
Yeah.
It seems to have really ramped up here. I'm really excited. I'm just so excited for tomorrow as well. I know you asked me a question about last week, but I've let it to tomorrow.
It's great.
Yeah, that's a great transition into. I don't want to say what do you expect for tomorrow because there's no way you could possibly know, but like.
Well, I'll say what I do expect and what I think will happen. I think I expect this team to be, and it might be tried to use this word, but competitive. Because that's something that the team has said all along. They want to be competitive in this league. And I think last week, as you said on this show, when you analysed the game, it wasn't a 3-0 lost game.
Right.
The way it played out. Because the team was competitive, and I think they're going to be competitive this week. I think Atlanta are going to be competitive next week. It's a baptism of fire for this team coming out with these 3 games.
Yeah, it's a hard schedule at the beginning here.
And we saw Coach Ramirez's style in action in that game, didn't we? I thought in the second half when the team settled more into taking control rather than just going direct, and there was a lot of sideways passing, a lot of backwards passing, but it had intention. And there's a lot going through the keeper, but it had intention. Sure. And I thought that there was a lot of positives to be taken from it. Yeah. And just that this team, they didn't look like a week 1 team to me. I think that was the most important thing. And this is something you echoed, guys said on the last pod as well.
And you had TT playing out of position. I mean, we still don't even have all of our pieces yet. So I mean, it's pretty impressive considering we're going to get more reinforcements coming. So to me that's very exciting too, because I thought we played well.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, so I said earlier on this show that one of my friends, who's not a big MLS supporter, came with me to the game in DC, and he was saying at halftime, like, which one of these is the expansion team and which one is the team that's been around since the beginning? Because we absolutely outplayed them in the first half, and I'd like to just take this moment to kind of call out Taylor on the Total Soccer Show for just being like, did they really play that well? Because it kind of felt like he did not think that that Charlotte played as well as they did, but that Joe understood.
Yeah,
and I want to give Joe a little credit for that.
I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
You can meet Taylor tomorrow. He's coming to the tailgate.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yes. I will come and then maybe say that to his face and then immediately
Pull it out in
apologize to
person.
him afterwards. But, so, going off of that tailgate comment then, can you just imagine what it's going to be like to see 75,000 fans in that stadium? And just imagine what that moment will be like when that first goal is scored for Charlotte.
Not if.
Like I said, if or when. So I'll take back the if. When that first goal is
You
scored.
don't know how hard I yelped when that goal went in last week, by the way, and it was like a midnight. It was
many people did
inappropriate
you
where I
wake-
was.
How many people did you wake up, not just in your house, but in houses around?
My neighborhood was unhappy with my behavior, but I think it's going to be. I just can't. I'm picturing in my mind how it's going to be tomorrow at this game. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, you know? This team gets one chance to make a first impression at home, and I think it's going to make a really good one. It's going to be helped by the fact this stadium's going to be full. I've been really encouraged seeing the rehearsals and what you guys have got planned.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Let me ask you this. You know, you're a world traveler. You go all over the place. How do you think people see MLS? And you've been doing this for a long time. Like, how has that changed over the years? The view of MLS in general.
I think it's changed a lot. Talking from a UK perspective, it's changed a lot because of broadcast. It's on a lot more. And there's games on a Saturday evening. If you're in the pub, there is during MLS season. There's more likely a game on because of the timing, the way it works out. So there's a lot more eyes on it.
Yeah.
Where I'm in Italy, not so much because they tend to only watch Serie A. They don't even really watch the Premier League. So I can't speak for Italy, but certainly on a global scale, it's increasing. And you'll see. I mean, the Guardian homepage all this week has had the Charlotte FC story on the front page the whole week. Yeah. So So because it's a big story, having 75,000 people in this stadium.
Absolutely.
As has been said, it's probably going to be the busiest stadium of the weekend.
Yeah.
And possibly the season.
I mean, maybe it's just the American fan in me who's desensitized, just because, like, with NFL, you just see that all the time. So it's just crazy to me to hear that, like, the Guardian has it on the front page because, I mean, that's nuts.
And it's not been a slow news week.
No, it has not.
No.
So,
you've been working with the team. I feel like we've done a lot of things differently. We have a chief fan officer, right? No other team has that. We're doing this like reality show and everything like that. What have you seen from the team that's impressed you that we've done that maybe sets ourselves apart? Like anything else that you've seen with the team?
I appreciate the win others zig, we zag approach. It's been from day one. Yeah, as you say, I really like that. It's the technical stuff that cuts us apart, I think.
Yeah.
Really has. From day one, I've been really impressed with the messaging that's come from the technical staff, from Zoran and everybody down.
Yep.
I just think that, I mean, Thomas Sharling, you guys have met him, you've had him on the pod.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly erudite man who knows what he's doing.
And we love Thomas.
I just have so much faith in the scouting department. You can see from the sale of Riley McGree.
yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that alone shows you the power of this scouting department, and I have total faith in it, and I think that faith is being repaid from what we saw last week. As I say, not a 3-0 game. We saw a competitive team. We saw the ingredients of promise there.
Right.
So I'm encouraged by that.
Yeah, and I think too. So, we were a little critical of Swiderski not being back, but there needs to be some type of grace and consideration as this is an expansion team. We're not going to get everything right, and sometimes things are out of our control. How do you think the team has done? You just mentioned the scouting, but like bringing players in, having these different people like Bobby Belair and Darius Barnes, like, how do you think that they've done, setting this all up?
From what I can see from my outside perspective, very well. I think there's a lot of mechanics we don't see as people on the outside of the bubble.
Right.
We don't know how hard they struggle to get one player in and one player out, for example.
Right.
I think all things considered, I think it's been really good. Considering, let's remember, in the context of world soccer, this team is building a roster in a winter window. When generally, around the world, they don't find much value in the winter window. German teams don't buy players in the winter window. Generally speaking, okay, that's changed a little bit in recent years, but generally, summer windows where you're going to find your value. And I think that's also where we're going to see there's room to add to this roster in the summer. I think they're very much planning for that. That's my speculation. I don't have inside information on that.
So, with that all being said, what would you say is the most proud accomplishment that you have that Charlotte FC has accomplished or has done so far?
I think we'll see it tomorrow. I think
Touché.
getting 74,000 people in the stadium.
Touché, sir.
That's going to be it, right? It's bringing the community together. As I say, it's me coming in today and seeing Charlotte FC fans in the wild. 2 years ago, it was us guys. Now it's tens of thousands of people in this city and across the Carolinas. That is impressive in itself. It's not hard to spread. It's not easy. It's not easy for me to speak. It's not easy to spread the message of a team like that across such a wide space, I think we take that for granted a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen a huge difference just in the past month with like news reporters, MLS themselves, like just really excited about what's going on, and it's really amped up the past couple of months, because when we started, we had to push back the season, and I feel like we lost some steam, but now it is full on and fast and furious. So that's exciting too, but also very stressful from a comms perspective. But
and you guys are doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
I mean, as you say, you've got a lot, particularly you, Matt, you've got a lot on your shoulders at the moment with all the social and everything. I think the Mint City have done a wonderful job of raising this team, of rising the tide of this team. I think you've done a wonderful job.
It's it's special for me. I like to take a lot of extra time to talk to people, educate people where I can, or listen to folks, and just try to give out as much information as I can for the expert or the newbie. So for me, it's a full-time job, even though I have a full-time job, but it's been very rewarding for me to see where we started and where we are today. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's been quite a journey.
Can you just imagine back to that first day at the Mint Museum when we had Don Garber there and just saying, hey, Charlotte's got a franchise now. And look at us. Not to go all Paul Rudd, but hey.
You had a Paul Rudd moment, right?
Yeah, let's say you and I had the exact same thought. It's just like, look at us. Who would have thought? And it's surreal right now, at least for me. I can't imagine what it's been like for you working as closely with the team as you have been. And what that's been like for you now being on literally the other side of the world, now watching from the outside, looking in almost.
Yeah.
Just, what has it been like for you, I guess, viewing it from your outside lens, being able to see the players over in Europe, but for the most part, just kind of doing your thing out there?
I mean, to answer your point about the December 2019, that announcement day, it feels like 10 years ago, but also yesterday. Do you know what I mean? It feels like we've gone such a long way in that time, but also it feels like it's been no time at all, which sounds paradoxical, but it's true, right? I don't know, I'm just really proud of this journey that this team's been on, and particularly since Nick Kelly came in as well. I think we saw things accelerate then, and that's naturally going to happen as we led towards first kick, of course, the way things have accelerated. And as I reiterate, this team is going to compete. This team is not going to be 14th. Those MLS writers aren't correct.
So let me ask you this, we're here now, games tomorrow. What would you like to see? I know you want to see some goals first. Sorry, I was on mute. So first games tomorrow, or first home games tomorrow. Besides like that first goal, what do you want to see from the team?
I want to see a performance where the team competes enough and gives enough to that 74,000 people that the majority doesn't want to come back the next time.
Right.
That's what we want,
Yeah.
right? We don't want just the season ticket holders coming back the next time. It has to, I think there's a lot riding on tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think the scoreline matters that much. I think what matters is what the team gives and what it shows. And I think they gave a lot last week. And I think we'll see progression from last week.
That's before you came on, I was talking about playing with grit and aggression and excitement. People will appreciate that when they see it. They the scoreline may not reflect us doing well, but like people will see the effort. So that's what I'm looking for, is that determination, that effort. So no matter what the scoreline is, people will be like, and they'll come back.
Right.
They'll come back to see it.
Right.
Yep.
That's the name of the game.
Yep.
Real quick before you leave, do you have a prediction for tomorrow?
I predict we'll all have a wonderful time.
Can we get a score prediction? I don't want to put
All
you
right,
on
let
the
me hear
spot,
yours
but
first. Before I go, you go.
All right. I said this earlier in the pod. 1-1. We will score early. The Galaxy will eventually equalize late. I'm not sure if you heard David's prediction.
I did not.
Good. David predicts that we will win 2-1 off of a late header.
Volley. It's a volley.
It's a volley. Apologies. It's a volley from Christian Fuchs off a corner to win 2-1.
Left-footed.
Left-footed.
Volley.
And if that happens, David is getting a tattoo of the whole team. The whole team.
Oh.
The logo.
I heard about this week, Jeff.
earlier. Yeah.
Russell has got that all wrong.
I'm only exaggerating slightly.
Okay. Charlotte 5, LA Galaxy 3. I saw it on the scoreboard earlier today.
Yeah.
That's going to come to pass.
Love it.
That would be amazing. That would get all the neutrals, the people that are first-time fans. They'd be like, 8 goals.
8 goals.
Yeah, sign me.
8-goal thriller. What more could you ask for?
I think it'd be 2-1. I think we score first because I think we need to score early.
Yep.
They get one back, but then we score
We
late.
come out swinging like we did last week. That is the right step.
And I think we're going to have to. Before you came on, I was like, LA played really well in the second half. It's going to be really important with us with this big crowd to get going early and get a goal early. I think that'd be so important. So 2-1. That's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us, Ryan. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Yes, I finally got to say it to him.
I've got to say,
Yeah.
I just reiterate, it is wonderful to be back. When I was flying back into Charlotte today, flying over Fort Mill and Valentine, I could see the skyscrapers. Little tear here. I was very emotional. It's wonderful to be back. I'm really looking forward
All
to the game
Charlotte's
tomorrow.
happy to have you back, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
looking
glad
forward
to have you
traveling
back.
with you guys next week to Atlanta as well. And I'm going to let a true broadcaster sit in this seat now, and I will retire from the microphone. Thank you very much.
sir.
I've got one question that was from the chat for Ryan Bailey from a Mr. Matt Chantry. And he wants to know, how tired is Ryan Bailey right now, and can he see straight?
Very no. Bye.
The man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Bailey, everyone.
Well, I think he just made our podcast so much more official versus me sitting here steering it. So I heard his predictions, heard his thoughts.
You didn't hear me just blabbling on for a while. I think, Matt, you did the best part. You did the best with all that.
It's hard to hear.
Yes, it's very hard to hear.
Yeah, so much.
We got a lot of people here tonight.
Yeah.
So I will say, is there anything else you want to add from your thoughts about tomorrow before we kind of talk about some events?
Yeah, not necessarily the game. There's some there's some good things to talk about. Swiderski is back, of course. That's the big piece. Melo has been training again, also super positive. I don't know if we want to talk about transfer rumors, but
So I don't know his name. I literally was Google. I genuinely don't know. So Russell, I may need you to help me out here for a second. So there is a player that we're linked to. So what's his name? Sorry.
Kamil Jozwiak.
Kamil Jozwiak.
that's
Okay,
good.
cool.
23-year-old winger, Polish national because we love our Polish national team players.
Yeah, so that's a rumor right now. It may come to fruition if we sign him, potential DP, which would make our second DP signing. And then I believe Mello is a young DP that we could buy down to the lower level of the TAM, GAM,
Look,
whatever.
you need a PhD to understand MLS roster rules, and none of us got time for that.
There was a quote from The Athletic today from an anonymous executive of a team that said, TAM, GAM, what the F, man. So, that's how I feel about it. But, yeah, so rumor right now, nothing really to kind of say about it, but it would be a winger, which is what the team missed out on with Darwin. So if that comes to fruition, great. I think it puts us in a good place until summertime where we can make a final push for a really large DP, potentially a left back or a defensive player. We'll see. But, yeah.
I think the only other thing to add on top of that is just how important it is for fans to be able, for the diehard soccer fans who are watching this and watching us right now, how important it is for all of you guys to show up tomorrow. And for all of us to put on a show, not just for the players in the stands, but for the entire nation. Because, again, I don't think we've talked about this yet. This game is not on Fox Sports 2. It's not on Fox Sports 1. This is on Fox. Fox, Big Fox. The entire nation is going to be...
Fox.
Yeah,
Big Fox.
Big
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah.
Like, the entire nation is going to be watching this game. Like, this is how we're going to be able to show that, like, soccer has made it here and that we deserve this MLS franchise.
Sure.
Because there are the trolls out there who want to say that we bought our way in, that we don't deserve this spot, and we have a chance to shut all of them up.
That's right.
And come out strong. And I'm going to challenge this to everyone watching, and I'm counting on all of you guys. I'm going to be out there with you. Go out there, be loud, lose your voice. Come join me, and then go into work on Monday and just say, hey, I got a sore throat. I'm not sure what happened. Sorry, boss.
This is Russell Varner pumping up Charlotte FC in Charlotte. Everyone's going to start singing "We Are Charlotte" here in just a minute, so that's great.
I love how Russ is like looking at the camera, pointing.
He's like Bill Clinton right here going, that. But
I forgot about the audio part. That's not going to see me pointing at the camera. So just imagine that I am pointing at you through the microphone and calling you out listening to this the next day or so afterwards, after the games maybe even happened. So,
well, just so you know, the producer extraordinaire, Corey, decided to zoom in on your face while you were doing that, Mike.
This is why we pay Corey the big bucks, because he is a magician and he makes magic like that happen. You don't know this. He's the one who makes us look good. We all just say things, but it's really him behind the scenes who makes all of this work. So producer Corey should get some props.
Please,
even though he won't take it.
Please, no POD. Youth of a Nation added to the song today, but so I'm just gonna kind of chime in and just transition a little bit about tomorrow, just to kind of give some logistics and details. But tomorrow is a really big day, obviously, right? But I want everyone to come out to the tailgate tomorrow, so I'm just gonna give some details for that. It's at 2 p.m. tomorrow until 90 minutes before kickoff. So kickoff's at 7:30. That means that we're going to be starting our march at 6:30. So come to the tailgate, all supporters. You do not have to be a part of a supporter group or another group to be joining us. But come to the tailgate lot off Moorhead. It's off McNick Street, 709 McNick Street, I believe. And we're going to have food, we're going to have drinks, we're going to have music. It's open to everyone. There's going to be some vendors out there, some food trucks. But then at 6 o'clock, we're going to do our march to the stadium. And there's going to be this amazing signal that's going to signal us to start our march to the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Can you tell us what this amazing signal is?
I can't yet. I can't share the secret quite yet.
I understand. You got to keep us on our toes.
Yep.
Surprise us.
Yeah, so we're going to have a great march heading into the stadium. When we get to the stadium, we're going to be in the supporter section. If you're not at the game, make sure you watch, so that way you can see, the tifo get raised. As you can see, Mike DeVos over here to the left of me, here in a few minutes. He's actually come on over here, camera. Come on over here. Come right here. So Mike here, say hi, Mike.
What's up, all?
So Mike is one of the TIFO leaders within Mint City Collective and has put a ton of time and effort. He hates being recognized for all the great work and the affection, but we love Mike, and we really appreciate all the work that him, Brandon Lewis, Jordan Parks, Alex has all done. Like, all these folks have done such amazing work. So
we expect all the fans of MCC and all the other supporters groups to really show out. We want you to have a good time at the tailgate. We want you to be loud at the march. And we want you to be chanting as loud as possible leading up to the game and during the game. But right before the game, you're going to see one of the best TIFOs to go up in the entire league.
yes, sir.
And it's going to make you cry. It's going to make you proud of where you live. And I hope it makes you glad to be part of CLTFC in our first inaugural home match.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So, killed it, Mike. So thank you,
Mic
sir.
drop.
We appreciate it,
Done.
mic drop on that right there. So, well, I mean, I'm ready to party, man. Are you ready to party?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
I've been ready to party.
Been ready to party.
Let's do this.
I will say before we transition for the end of the show, we've got some Q&A, some questions in the chat. So I already asked Mr. Bailey what his question was. So real quick, just going through this.
I'm scared.
So David Einstein says, how do I convince my wife to get on a flight tomorrow, and what's my cover charge if I actually get there?
Mint City Collective has got you for the cover charge. Say it's going to be a romantic, historic evening that you will never forget.
There you go. I don't know if I could sell that to my wife or not, but Matt Swift, what do you think?
That was
I never
perfect.
said it would work. I just said it's an idea.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So that was the first question. So the next one was, can you please say the team from the Netherlands that is spelt AJAX? So Matt, I'll go first. It's Ajax. Matt Swift, how would you pronounce that word?
It's Ajax. Everybody knows it, but you.
I almost brought a bottle of Ajax to the show tonight.
Come on, it's not Ajax.
What? It is not Ajax. So Thomas, I know you're watching, so make sure you love this pronunciation as much as possible. Well, but that's really the questions we had here tonight, guys. So
Let's get all the guys to come.
Come here real quick. So come back.
We're going to grab all the Mint
So
City,
we-
all of our
we-
Mint City
we have-
friends, because we have a bunch standing around.
We have some love, some support here with Mint City
All of
Collective.
you,
So
everyone come join.
yeah, so
These are all the people that make us look good and that do everything behind the scenes, be it the TIFOs or setting everything up for all the away trips. All we do is talk on a podcast. Or at least that's all I do. These guys do much more than I. So these are all the people who make everything happen. They're all the heroes. Don't laugh.
David, you want to introduce everybody?
Yeah, go one by one.
Everywhere we go,
Oh boy.
Party like it's Best Street. Everywhere we go, everywhere we go. Party like it's Best Street. Everywhere we go, party like it's Best Street. Everywhere we go, everywhere we go.
I feel like we got cut off there.
There we go.
Cut off. It's over.
let me just say, Corey is in the corner probably hating us right now because he's going to have to fix this post edit. But I just want to say, so we're having fun with this episode because, frankly, it is a party. It's all the hard work that we've put in the past 2 years is coming to fruition. So, I mean, we've got some officers back here. So Jay's one of our founders and board members. Really has put a ton of work in behind the scenes. So thank you. You guys already know who Mike DeVos is with the TIFO stuff. You got Trey here with the field team lead, doing chants, doing the TIFO work, doing the flags, all the organization. Jeff is technically the treasurer, but I mean he does
like 50 different.
He is the technology guy. He is the website guy. All the website complaints go straight to him. So thank you. We've got Chris
DM
Harmon
him on Twitter.
Yeah, Chris Harmon here behind us. Chris is the one that does all the away game. So this dude behind us, if you buy a membership from us, he literally packages it and sends it from his house directly to you in a Pretty Mint
When you
bag.
buy away tickets,
Yeah.
all 300 of them,
If
sends them out into the flames to everyone.
if you enjoyed your trip to DC,
Him.
that's the guy to thank right there. Yep.
Answer my survey.
And answer Trey's survey about your experience. So I will say,
Whether you're with us at the stadium tomorrow or in a bar somewhere in the Carolinas or abroad, we love you.
we all love you out
We
there.
love you,
so,
Mike.
Yeah. So on this note, I'm going to ask you guys to do one more chant to kind of send us off tonight. It's not POD. It's not going to be that song. But I would love for you guys to be able to do one last chant to send us off one last time. So Russell, keep your mic on. I'm going to mute us. We're going to do one chant, whatever you guys want to do.
Charlotte FC, the CLT, the tried and true. Ole, 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 Charlotte FC, the CLT, the tried and true, the black and blue. Ole, 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 ole,
Thank you guys. Thank you everyone who tuned in tonight. Corey, thank you for fixing this monstrosity. And
R.I.P. your ears.
We will see y'all tomorrow in Bank of America Stadium. Bye everybody.
Woo! Let's go. Woo!